Welcome to Behavioral Health in the New Normal, a podcast developed by Prestige Community Resources, aimed at bringing healing back to our community through knowledge, expert advice, and positive messaging. The show is a joint venture between the Department of Behavioral Health and Prestige Community Resources, funded by SAMHSA in response to the challenges currently impacting our communities. Hosted by Paul Wells Sr., who uses over 30 years of extensive clinical social work experience to conduct insightful interviews with experts and professionals on a wide range of topics that impact the Washington, D.C. community. From behavioral health crisis to education to financial hardship and anything in between. This show will provide information and insights that will surely make a difference in your life.
Listen, family, I want to welcome everyone back to the podcast series, The New Normal, which is offered by Prestige Resources in collaboration with Department of Behavioral Health in Washington, D.C. Man, I'm excited and very respectful of our guest who's come to share his story about transitioning from incarceration during the pandemic being the backdrop. So the topic today is transitioning from one lockdown to another. And our guest today is Brother Dandre Tinsley, who is going to be very transparent and honest with us just about his personal experience. And so we're going to get to know Brother Dandre very personally, and he's going to navigate us and educate us around the barriers of reentry. Prestige fan base, you kind of know that this is my territory. This is what I've done for 20, 30 years. Help brothers like Dandre navigate back home and put both feet back on the land. And there's so many reentry barriers, we know what they are: financial readiness, housing dilemmas, untreated and underdiagnosed substance abuse, mental health distress, and the resources that don't match that. And not only that, all of these requirements and mandates that they place on brothers and sisters regarding their release conditions. And how do I operationalize and get all of those done simultaneously within a short period of time? So, Brother Dandre, we welcome you, man. How you feeling today?
I'm blessed. Glad to be here.
Indeed, you are. I feel it. It's seeping all over you. I understand right now you're in VA.
Yes,
recording this podcast.
Yeah, Fredericksburg,
Virginia. Okay. What's the weather like down there today?
Cold.
I know that's right. Same here. I'm up here in Maryland. And so I think it's pretty much the same thing. So, Brother Dandre, just tell us, before we kind of get into your transition experience, tell us just a little bit about you. Where'd you grow up? What was that like? What school did you attend? I know you're from the DMV. This is home.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your early beginnings.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Fort Washington, and I went back and forth between Fort Washington and Waldorf. I graduated from Friendly High School.
Oh yeah.
Graduate class 07.
07. Okay.
I was out the way, but I was in the way growing up. In and out of a little trouble here, and I was hard headed. And then once I got a certain age, I want to say about 15, 16, that's when the street life was appealing to me.
Yeah.
All morals and principles and values went out the window, and all about money, and it took a turn for the worse. I caught my case in August 2013 and was released January 10th, 2020.
Wow, so that's 7 years. That's 7 years of your life. And not only that, at a critical time in your life where things should have been, your course of development should have been very different. But you grew up in some respects incarcerated. Some of your time of development was spent behind bars. Tell me a little bit about what was the charge that you were convicted of?
I was convicted of armed robbery, possession of a firearm while committing a felony, and unlawful wounding.
Okay. In some people's assessments, those are pretty serious charges.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you had to do 7 years. So you caught the charge in Virginia. And how old were you when you were sentenced?
When I was sentenced, I was 23.
23. 23. So just
I
a
was
young man. You're still a young man, but you were even younger then, 23 years old. Was that your first introduction into incarceration or confinement?
As an adult, yes. As an adult, yes. Now I had, trespassing and, curfew charge,
Some juvenile stuff.
Yeah, stuff that starts, and if you don't get it on track right then and there, it turns into penitentiary and stuff like that. So petty stuff. But that was the first time I ever went in front of a judge for a felony and as an adult.
Wow. And the first hit was 7 years.
So
come on.
And the crazy part, the plea was for 10. And I didn't take the plea. And I sat and I prayed, and I had a lot of family, a lot of support, people right. And then the judge came back and said, this is first charge, I'm gonna give him 7. And that 7 felt like 10.
Yeah, no doubt. But it wasn't 10, but
it
wasn't felt 10. Like 10.
Yeah, it felt like 10. It wasn't 10.
So you had a lot of family support there and a lot of friends, and so you don't blame any of your decision making and behavior on how you were brought up. You said you came from a very supportive community of friends and family, and but the lure of the street and making that money caught your attention.
It was and growing up having nothing, and it's when you grow up, no lights, no food, and then you try to tell me I can do something as small as this to make as much as this, because it always starts as trying to put food on the table, make sure your mom. That's how it always starts.
That's right.
But once you get the family out the way, that's when you start having fun, and that's when all principles go out the window. And so that's how it started.
That is so true. Friendly High School. I have a dear colleague who used to be the vice principal there. His name was Steve Morse. I don't know if he was there when you were there, but actually around that time, around 2000. Well, no, this was earlier. We had a relationship with Friendly High School. I was running a mandated treatment program with Bureau of Prisons, and we would bring some students from Friendly High School into some of the therapeutic groups to meet some of the men and just have a discussion about consequences.
Right.
Consequences related to bad decision making. But I appreciate the fact that what I think you said is the lifestyle required that you relinquish some of the values and core beliefs that were instilled in you, because you have to survive in the streets.
Right.
You can't be good at the game if you maintain some of the values that I'm sure were fundamental to you.
Right.
I mean, with that first night, age 23, in a state institution with grown men, what was that like, that first night?
Physically, I wasn't scared. Mentally, I was scared because I was put in a situation where I don't know nothing about. It's not like me and some of my friends were going to another. I know what it's like to be in the hood, so I know how to post up and how to move around. I've never been to the penitentiary, and luckily it's not like my family was in and out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
We had we got a few knuckleheads, but it's not like it was a recurring event.
That's
so
right.
When it happened to me, I'm like, okay. So let's go. One thing, I'm glad. I'll be the first person to say I don't regret nothing I did in that case, because it made who I am today, and it sat me down. I had to learn, because that 7 years, that was the best thing that could have happened to me. Everything that happened to me, that was the best thing.
And I understand it. I understand it. There was this good brother that I still work with and interface with, who would always say when we're in a therapeutic context that
handcuffs saved his life. That if he didn't have that time out, he probably would have lost his life, because he was going 100 miles an hour with no regard for self and or others. And he used the time as an opportunity to build and rebuild and restructure his thinking and his core belief systems and his health as well, right? Right. And so what are some of the things, new discoveries you secured while you're incarcerated? How did it help you?
It helped me as a way of thinking. Being able to dissect a situation before it becomes a situation. I was always the person that I thought, because you laughed with me and maybe gave me a ride, you was my best friend.
Yeah, look at that.
I had to learn in the penitentiary that everybody that laughed and grin in your face is not your friend. Because some of the people I was running with, I hadn't done anything for them. But then when the case came about, a lot of fingers got pointed out.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 of my co-defendants told on me. We lived together, we ate together, we was hungry together, we did everything together. And then when it came down to it, I mean, like, you hurt me.
So I had to learn, because that was a mistake on my behalf, because if I took my blinders off and focus and looked in and really saw him for what he was, I'd have been to cut him off.
There you go.
I'd have been to cut him off. Because just because y'all get money together and he might, shoot the gun out the window, that doesn't mean he's loyal.
Exactly.
Love and loyalty is two different things. You can love somebody, but you don't have to be loyal to them.
Yeah.
And I'm big on loyalty. I'm big on. I'd rather you be loyal to me than you love me.
Look at
when
that.
When you're loyal to me, you're not gonna stab me in the back. But see, if you love me, you still love me. Yeah, I love you, but I still can be disloyal to you. But if you're loyal to me, I'm not worried about love. I'd rather have loyalty than love.
Yeah, that's real talk, and I understand that shift in thinking, and it's a critical shift, and it's a necessary shift because that's a life skill that promotes success. When I was with CSOSA, I ran this reentry facility, and some of the brothers would come home early. The group entitled Snitching was an interesting group because the guys who I knew, because remember, I had the files, I knew how they got there.
Right.
The main dudes that told everything in their case who got early release were the main ones in the group saying they don't believe in snitches. And the way I would challenge them and I would bluff them a little bit, I said, okay, well, let me go get your file and see how you got here, Slim.
Right.
And so that code on the street is not real. It's a myth that we ain't telling each other we're gonna do our time together, whatever. It's a myth, because when you get pinched up, now fingers are pointing as you described. How did you cultivate your mind? How did you cultivate your spirituality? How did you work on your health while you were in there? Did you do something specifically?
I cut out a lot of sodas. I used to drink a lot of water. I used to drink a lot of water. And then I became a fan of coffee. I used to like coffee, because the facilities I was at, the food was horrible. And my grandma told me when I was younger, coffee curbs your appetite.
Right.
So, growing up, we hungry, drink coffee. That's what the older folks, that's what the adults did. So I drank coffee to curb my appetite, but I started to like coffee. But I worked out, five times a week.
Look at that.
5 days a week. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I play ball every day. And my favorite part of my build in the penitentiary was not the physical. Spiritual, yes, because I got a close relationship with God.
Okay.
But was my mental.
Yeah.
When I picked up my first book, and now I could read, but when I picked up my first book on some I'm gonna read this book on my own.
Yeah.
And all the knowledge and the wisdom and the everything, the quotes that I learned from this book, it changed my world. I have a favorite author now. I love James Patterson. I love all his books. Wow. I can read those all day, every day. I love to read. I like to research now because when I was incarcerated, I had to research my case.
That's right.
Because if you're not careful, they'll do something. If you don't put up a fight, they just do what they want.
That's right.
Because I had guidelines, and my first plea was above my guidelines. But by me researching my case since the jail, I was like, okay, I tell my y'all can't do that.
That's right.
That's going against my guideline. But see, if you don't say nothing, they're just gonna put you away. And I wanted to come home. After I got my time, because if I could have got anything in 2019, that was more. Even though it wasn't no big of a difference, that was more doable in my mind. When you're locked up in 2013 and they say you come home 2020, that's life to me. I'm still in the teens. I'm still 13, 14, 15, 16, 20.
Exactly.
But reading was my favorite and probably my most beneficial, and knowledge can be used as a weapon. Sure. Knowledge can be used as a movement. Y'all can be used. It's crazy what you do with knowledge.
Exactly. It definitely empowers you. So I know as soon as you walk in a facility, the thinking is, how do I strategize and plan for my departure? Immediately you start thinking about what that transition home would look like. When will it happen? How will it happen? The correctional system prepare you in any way, any meaningful way, of what to expect and how to prepare for your release?
By the book? Yes. By
the
book? Yes. Okay. Read this book, do this pamphlet, release it to the world. The effectiveness, the percent of the percent,
right,
zero.
Look
how can you prepare me to enter a world that I've never been. You get what I'm saying? I got locked up in 2013. When I got locked in 2013, I had blinders put on. Only thing that I worried about was the penitentiary. I ate penitentiary food. I did penitentiary stuff. I talked on a penitentiary phone. I wore penitentiary clothes.
Yep.
I didn't, nothing else mattered. I didn't care about the new Wendy's menu or the new shoes that was coming out, or the new rappers. I really didn't care because I couldn't really listen to them.
That's right. That's right.
So how can you prepare me to come into the world? But and the books are outdated. The books, like, let's be real. At the end of the day, when you come home from the penitentiary, two things: you're excited and you're anxious.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, if you do not have the right support system or the right guidance, that can be used. That can be used into a bad thing. For example, when I came home with a little, I came home with a little bit of money because I worked. And, I had people send me money while I was incarcerated for commissary and property and stuff like that. Cool. So I came home with some money, nothing crazy, but enough to have money in my pocket. Now when that's gone, you in the house like, you need some money.
That's right.
And it's so easy. See, and another thing I wanted to point out,
please,
it's so easy to come home and I pick up a phone like, bro, I just came home, man. I'm down bad. Hey, look, come on, I got a gun and some drugs for you, right? That's easy.
Yeah.
But not one person could I call when I came and say, look, bro, I'm down bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, look, I'm gonna try to get you a job at such and such, or look, let's go cut some grass, or let's go shovel some snow.
Isn't that something?
It's when you come home, it's the way it's designed. You're designed to fail.
That's right. I
came home determined. For example, first of all, I came home on probation, right?
Okay.
I feel like I'm still being punished.
Yeah.
You gave me 7 years for my crime. Okay.
That's right.
Violent crime, I'm a felon. I can't possess a firearm and vote right now. Cool.
That's right.
I can respect that, but you give me a chance to get them back. But now I'm a felon.
And they impose those now they impose those conditions of probation on you.
And now, by me having that big F over my name, I feel like I'm still getting punished. Okay, I did my time. You gave me 7 years. I did the time that I was supposed to do to the day. I didn't get no good time. I did it to the day. I came home. Okay, put the rules on me. Okay, can't have a gun, cool. But don't label me as a felon, because when I fill out a job application, even though they got the laws that changed, I can't lie on there. I got to tell them I was a felon. You automatically discriminate me because you don't see me as DeAndre, who happens to be a felon. You see me as a felon whose name happens to be DeAndre.
So the label walks in the room before you do.
Right, and that's not fair.
I
feel like I'm still incarcerated. I came home January 10th. Corona jumped off, I want to say, in February?
That's right.
We went on quarantine in March. I came home for 30 days free as a free man. Since then, I still feel incarcerated. I have to wear a mask. We're doing Zoom meetings.
That's right.
Usually, can you be here this time? We're in person. Now we're doing Zoom meetings, mask, social distancing, gatherings, a curfew. I'm 31 years old.
That's right. That's right.
A curfew.
Look at that.
I still feel like I'm incarcerated, so I have to do things to keep busy. I work. I do little odds and ends and stuff like that. But
that's right.
When I sit down, because an idle mind is a dangerous mind. And me coming from what I've been through and then the situation I've gone through to get where I'm at, I know what the penitentiary life is like.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's different from me being that person like, I wonder what the penitentiary is like. That's probably scary. So that's not me no more. I know what it's like. I handled it. I conquered it. So sometimes you have to be cautious of some of the thoughts that go through your mind, because sometimes you catch yourself like, the other day I caught myself saying I had to, get back. I was like, man, that ain't about, man. That's white collar. That's a couple months. What? No.
Yeah. Appreciate you highlighting this. The thing that would make me the most concerned about outcomes is when the young brothers would say, man, go ahead and send me back. I ain't worried about doing time. I can do time.
Yeah, I got another one.
Unless you take that completely off the table, guess what? You're going to return. Are there challenges specific to honoring the conditions while in a pandemic?
Due to the pandemic, being on probation during the pandemic right now has been a plus. Because just recently, I've been home a year. I've been home a year and 6 days.
Look at that.
I've been home a year and 6 days. After me being home within 4 months, my PO put me on shadow track. What that is on the 4th of every month, like I had to do it this morning before I got on the Zoom call. It's an app. I click on self-report. I say my name 3 times. I say my name, and it records to hear like slurs or you know, background noise, you know, stuff like that. So I say my name 3 times. Then I do a visual report where I hold the phone, and it's just like I'm setting up Face ID to see if I'm, you know, high or, you know, looking bad and stuff like that. And that's it. You know, when I came home, I seen my PO physically twice. The first time I seen my PO was 72 hours after my release. And then I seen him like, I think 2 weeks later. When I seen him that second time, I pulled up and my brand was not brand new with me. My car, 30-day tags. I had a job.
There you go.
Mr. Tinsley, I'm proud of you. He said, you know what, Mr. Tinsley? I'm not going to have you keep coming out way out here to Fredericksburg. I'm out here to Lynchburg. He said, look, just do what you do. I'm not going to be, you know, down on you. Because I came home, I came home running. When they opened the gates, when I say physically, I physically ran to the car. Got to the car, get these Browns off me.
Who picked you up? Who picked you up, man? Who met you?
My mother and my sister picked me up.
Look at that.
Yeah. Because everybody wanted to pick me up, but to be honest with you, I didn't know how I was going to react being in the world.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
So I be around somebody that I knew loved me, I knew trust me.
That's
you know, and it was my mother. And my mother, my older sister, my little sister at the time, she was at school at Radford, but she still attends. But she came later on. She came that weekend. She came on a weekend.
At that time of release and the day of pickup, were they focused on people wearing masks at that time? I don't think so. Hadn't really caught on.
Yeah, Corona didn't see Corona. I wasn't incarcerated during Corona. I came home and about 30 days later, that's when Corona hit.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, which is in my opinion, which was a worse off situation because I didn't have to deal with it in the penitentiary. I come home for 30 days, didn't have to deal with it. Boom. Then you put me, it's like I'm locked up again.
Shut you down.
At least if you dealt with it in the penitentiary, mask, social distancing.
That's right.
You know, the new way of the world.
That's right.
It might be a little bit more easier to adjust. But for 30 days, I was a free man. No curfew, you know.
No restrictions at all.
Yeah,
no restrictions.
Clubs, restaurants, can sit down, laugh, have a good time. You know, I can see the whole face.
Sure.
You know, when I got locked up, a mask was a problem.
That's
now,
right.
You have to wear a mask.
That's
and it's crazy because
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm like, man, 2013 you had a mask, you get locked up.
That's right.
Now you don't got a mask, you get locked up.
Especially if you're a black man with a mask on. It was almost guaranteed that someone's gonna pull you over and we're gonna have a discussion. Why you got that mask on or what did you do? Yeah. So it's funny how 7 years can change, but also related to the pandemic, the significant changes. You mentioned that you're working and you're starting to put the pieces together now. What kind of work are you doing? And what were the challenges of seeking employment during a pandemic?
Well, currently right now I work for UPS.
Oh, man.
And to be honest, when I came home January 10th, February 12th, I started working a landscaping job, right? So my uncle worked there, so he got my foot in the door, but the guy did not know I was a felon, nothing like that. So he asked me a question. So he did the application, you know, I put down I was a felon. So he asked, can you explain to me what happened? I said, sure. Explained to him what happened. He said, you know what? Stop apologizing. So I said, what you mean? He said, you did your time. He said,
that's right.
You paid your debt to society. He says, now society owes you an opportunity to give you a chance to be a law-abiding citizen. So I was like, okay. So then when I put down pay, you know, I put down minimum wage. You know, I know you put.
That's right.
Come on, man, you're selling yourself short.
Look at that.
I'm still thinking minimum wage, $7. I think at the time it was like 8 or 9. He was like, no. So you started me off at 13. Okay. 13, I was doing landscaping. I got the job in February, so it wasn't grass cutting season yet. So we was laying mulch and cutting trees, stuff like that. But I was getting about 40 to 43 hours a week. Good money. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the work. He gave me my first job. So after I started doing that, I'll never forget it. One day it got to 104 degrees. I said, this ain't for me.
Gotta do something else.
I had responsibilities, so I couldn't just leave. And he gave me opportunity, so I had to do it right. So I kept looking for other jobs. But once I found another job, got hired and worked it for about a week. I gave my 2 weeks. And he said, Tinsley, if you ever need a job, you need to come back, just call me, you know. And we became cool. So I started working at Mary Watson Hospital, right?
Wow.
I was working at a hospital, and I was a floor tech.
Okay.
Nothing major. All I do is ride a buffer. Simple, you know. But I'm in the hospital.
How much was the pay there?
The pay that went from, I was making 13 at landscape and went to 15.50. Right.
I want the audience to really appreciate the significance of that. When you were incarcerated, what was the hourly rate that the correctional system was paying?
38 cents an hour.
Say that again, because how much?
38 cents an hour.
38 cents an hour.
Right. So in a month, I would make about $17.
I want to be real clear. When you're incarcerated, your hourly rate was how much?
38 cents an hour.
38 cents an hour. So when you talk about gratitude for making minimum wage, that's a significant increase. I
was a millionaire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now the risk with that is now I got a little money to work with. And for some people that can be intoxicating in itself and a trigger to kind of return to old habits. How was that? So you started, you working 40, 43 hours a week comfortably. So you had money in your pocket. How are you managing your money?
That was the best thing that could have happened to me because, you know, going from a certain lifestyle, I pretty much went home from a hood rich person to a free broke man.
Wow.
I go from endless shoes and clothes and cars and clubs, having a good time and as they would say, tricking or whatever, having fun, to coming home happy, free,
not looking behind your back all the time.
But no money. So when I started making money, I was able to go back and it felt good to do all those same things I did back then, but legit.
Yeah.
When I got locked up in 2013, I got evicted out of my apartment because I was incarcerated.
Yeah.
Everything I owned, they threw it away. Everything, all the way down to birth certificates. So they threw everything away in my apartment. So everything I've owned, I acquired right now. The clothes you see on, the hat, my car, my apartment. I've acquired since I've been home.
You're staying by yourself? You got your own apartment already?
Yes, sir. Since
Stop playing, man. So wait a minute. And your name's on the lease?
Yes, sir. Ain't nobody else.
Your name?
Yes, sir. Dandre J. Tinsley.
Look at that. So your own residence, you got a vehicle, you got a job, you're in good state of mind, you're in good health. Wow, you really put things together in a relatively short period of time. Because I know brothers, their transition experience can last a couple of years before they feel like they're anchored back home. Right. And so it sounds like you were very strategic, and whatever plan you had and vision you had for yourself pre-release, you were able to execute. So when I think about the pandemic, maybe some of the restrictions imposed,
it did me good.
Actually facilitated some. It actually provided the order that you needed to stay focused with your plan.
It kept the blinders on because during the pandemic, they shut all the fun down, and fun costs money.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, I wasn't able to, when I started making the real money, when I started working at UPS, man, the world is shut down.
That's
you know. So now all I do is save, pay my bills, and when I spend something now, like I'm big on reviews now. I invest, I look, because during the quarantine, as we're still on, during the pandemic, you can't do nothing. So by me feeling like I'm incarcerated as a free man, I take back to some of the things I did to free my mind when I was incarcerated. Read, a workout, to keep my mind, clear and free. I try to, got to, because in my opinion, this is for me, my point of view. I can't speak on nobody else. I sometimes still feel like I'm locked up.
Yeah. Because
I can't go to any store I want to. I can't have so many people around me. But at the end of the day, I say that, but then I come back and say this. I know I'm not locked up. I'm a free man. God knows I'm a free man. But mentally, sometimes I feel like I'm still incarcerated. I'm confined to my house. Rumor is you can shut the world down again. You can't come out your house. How can I not come out my house? I'm like, what did I do?
Even if you haven't been incarcerated, this pandemic and the isolation associated with it has had a real significant impact on people's mental health.
Yes.
I mean, just like you said, the reality of confinement and restriction and not being social and not being able to navigate your world and your territory. Hey, listen, you got some money saved up?
Yes.
Stop playing. You got a bank account, man. Stop playing, man.
I got a Navy Federal credit union account.
Credit union account.
Yeah.
Let me think this through, because I'm familiar with the lifestyle a little bit. I know a little bit about the game. So back in 2013, you hanging out with your boys, you tricking a little bit. You might even go to the go-go, maybe go have a little fun. How much money could you easily spend in one night? Just having fun.
And one night, because things were a lot cheaper back then.
That's right.
But we'll just say collectively in a week, I could spend $3,500 and be okay.
And still all of your needs met. That's just plain money.
Yeah. I can spend about 35. Now I'm not saying every week, but I can spend 35 and be like, what we doing?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't have to look and go count stuff like that.
Right. So now 3,500, it seems like you're very deliberate about how that gets utilized.
I rent $1,100.
Your rent's $1,100, man. Stop playing.
Yes, sir. Listen, $1,100. One bedroom, one bathroom. I'm on the first floor. It was the only thing I could really get with my condition and my work history, and I don't really have rental history. So I had to pay a little bit more, which I'm okay with that. Now, if I spend $3,500 a week now, I better have some investments, some Bitcoin receipts, and all that.
That's real. Yeah. That's real talk. Yeah. Brother Tinsley, do you have any children?
No, sir. 31 with no kids.
Is that a part of your vision? And what are your thoughts on family?
I'm big on family. I love kids, but I really want to give my child a chance to be raised in a 2-parent household. Yeah. I really not necessarily I would like to get married, but sometimes this marriage just doesn't work out. But y'all work out together as a relationship. You just don't have the title of marriage. Yeah. I would at least like something like that before I bring a child to the world. Because at the end of the day, a child needs his mother and her father, his or her father.
Do you have someone in your life now that kind of understands your needs and your goals and your aspirations? Is there someone significant? Okay,
my best friend. No one's significant because I just came home and I got to get myself together.
Absolutely.
But my best friend since growing up, we've known each other since I want to say 2009. Wow. And our relationship is so crazy. She's married, has a beautiful family, and we're just friends. And it's somebody I can talk to because she's seen me from back in 2009, what I was doing, immature, grimy, breaking the law to. Yeah. But she also was there during my incarceration, talk to me, come to see me, make sure I was good. And then now she's seeing what I've become, and it's beautiful. I can talk to her about anything, but my best friend is probably my little sister.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? The same sister that came to greet you when you were released?
That was my oldest sister. My youngest sister, she's 20. She just turned 21.
Oh, baby sister. Your baby sister.
That's my age because when she was born, it was like this, and then she took it the hardest when I got incarcerated.
Look at that.
It really showed the love and the loyalty of that bond of a sibling. Right. A sibling bond is something different. I've never.
They tell me, let me tell you what I know for sure. They say if you live long enough, the person you're going to know the longest is your brother or your sister.
Yeah.
If you both, so that is so important for the audience to know that family is an important part of the formula when you talk about successful reentry. Because there's some brothers and sisters coming home who, as a result of their lifestyle and their habits and their addictions, they don't have family.
Right.
And that makes that journey just much more complicated and difficult.
It does.
Listen, I really appreciate and respect your decision to kind of slow up on the relationship, the romantic relationship.
Yeah, I have to.
Focus being on, you're being a little selfish. I need to make sure I have all my eggs in the ground before I start all this romantic stuff. I gotta love me first.
Yeah, I gotta get me straight first.
That's right.
And I'm big because in all actuality, all honesty, and this is no shade or no, I don't mean it's no, but when I was incarcerated, I was by myself. I ate by myself. Slept by myself, went through the case by myself, I did the time by myself. Now that's not a person's fault that they didn't know me then. But when I break it down to you and explain, you have to respect that, because I'm like, I can't just open up, because the people I open up to, yeah, he did it. He's the one.
That's right.
So, I'm big on loyalty, but if I can find that one person that can just stick around and just build with me and just bear with, I'm not saying 2-3 years, but I mean, work with me, build with me, and let me, because I haven't been in the free world yet. I came home I was free 30 days.
Wow.
And then now I'm on quarantine. So now I haven't been able to really go out and, have fun and as my father would say, show the new body off. I haven't been able to do that. I've been in the house, buying stuff on Amazon.
Let me ask you this, and not to belabor it, but I think it's important. Would you say that as a result of your experience, you have trust issues?
Yes.
It's magnified, because I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it. And for you, you're not really trying to play games with nobody. You're very serious, and you're measuring the right and privilege to trust someone. What are some of the factors, or what's the evidence you need to see in someone that will give you a chance to even begin trust?
I'm big on consistency. Okay. I'm simple stuff. Simple stuff goes along. Consistency, genuine.
Look at that.
But my favorite one's consistency. Just be consistent. That's all I ask. Life is not planned.
That's right.
You can't read life. You can't order life. You can't download life. Life is live. It's just live TV show. That's just what life is. It's live. So be consistent. If you feeling feelings this way and be consistent with it. Don't switch up. I don't like that.
Can you identify 3 people real quick who you trust right now? First name, mother,
my sister, and my
sister,
uncle.
And your uncle. Your uncle. Is your uncle your mother's brother?
Yes, my uncle is my mother's brother.
Call his first name just so I know. Uncle
Melvin.
who? Uncle Melvin.
Yeah, I call him Uncle Melvin. Well, we say Unc. We say Unc, but
that's right.
we call him, but yeah, he's reason why, because when I got incarcerated, I did not know him.
Wow.
Did not know him. Didn't know him. Didn't even know that my mom had 3 brothers.
Really?
When I got incarcerated in 2013, August, I want to say November, he came to see me at the jail. So they say, Tinsley, you got a business? I said, no, I don't. Y'all got the wrong person. Go on about your business. He's like, nah, y'all got a business. So I'm like, all right, it's him. I don't know who it is. I just got to the jail. I'm thinking, it's another indictment. So I'm like,
sure.
Like, man, you don't know me. I'm like, yeah, who are you? He explains who he was. He's like, I've been in your shoes.
Wow.
Been in your situation.
Look at that.
He said, if God put in my heart that I need to reach out to you. Okay, so after that, for 7 years, he wrote me twice a week, 7 years straight. I talked to him on the phone once a month.
Okay.
He never missed a birthday, a holiday. Never missed it with a card, nothing. And it always came on time. Now, due to Christmas, something like that, it might come a little bit before, a little bit after. But you understand the concept.
That's right.
And consistency.
He
showed me that. I fell in love with consistency.
No doubt.
I'd rather you be consistent. I'd rather you be consistent than anything else. Because with consistency, we can work with it.
Do you still relate with him today? Do you guys still?
Yes. Yeah,
I'll say this to you, dear brother. It was obvious. It was explicit that when you referenced him, your whole energy shifted in a very positive, respectful, humble. You became slightly emotional. I'm a therapist. I pick up on the nonverbals. I saw it. That just the mention of how he contributed to your time in a positive way was endearing. I respect that. Hey, Uncle Melvin, when you see this, man, much love to you. Much love to you. We need other brothers to kind of step up to the plate and help guide us out of the wilderness. Help us in our journey, reclaiming our divine position in life. So, Uncle Melvin, man, we love you, baby. We love you. Listen, since we're talking about supports, and I don't want to belabor this too much, but what about Dad? Do you have any relationship with your father?
Oh, yeah. That's my dog.
Okay. All right.
That's my dog. That's
My
my
man.
ace. He been there. One thing I would say, I was raised in a 2-parent household. I didn't have to jump into the streets for real. My peoples, we was poor growing up, but then once my mother and father had got on track and got on, you know, I didn't have to at all.
That's right.
I
It
didn't
was your
have to.
choice.
You know,
Your
but
choice.
we lived in there. We lived in the hood. Then once they left, I'm like, I'm not leaving my home. And then, you know, because they had left, but you know, that's my ace. Like, he went from, my father had an iPhone, I think he had like an iPhone 5. I think, it might have been a 4S. Just up until like, I want to say like 2 weeks ago. So he got an iPhone, I think a 10, right? FaceTimes me for everything. Like, you know, the board didn't have FaceTime.
Right, exactly.
I might be in the house chilling.
Here we go. All
what
day.
You doing?
Oh man.
You couldn't text me?
Yeah.
Text me. My ace. And me and my bond with my parents became a lot stronger during incarceration, because when you get incarcerated, it's just not something that works on you. It works on your family, your friends.
Your family does the time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I understand it well.
And my mom, she said something to me that touched me. She says, when I came home, she said, son, for the first time in 7 years, in your whole life, for 7 years, you were somewhere where I couldn't touch you, I couldn't kiss you, I couldn't hug you, I couldn't reach out to you when I wanted to. My mother physically, and I know when she hear this, she's gonna get mad. So shout out to Mom Dukes.
Yeah.
But
we love you, Mom.
Physically aged my mother. Physically.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When they used to send me pictures, right?
I understand it.
Physically, and she had got sick.
Yeah.
She had got sick. She slowly shaking back. But when I got incarcerated, she had got sick. Because my mom was a great mom. She is a great mom.
Yeah,
she's a great mom, and I have a great father. But something about my mom. She gonna get mad. When y'all see my mom real short.
Yeah.
Real small.
What?
I think she's a legal midget, but I don't know.
Stop
but she's
playing.
real short. But her heart is so big.
Huge.
And I'm thank God that's where I get my heart from. Because one thing about my mom, you could throw her into the jungle, she becomes a lion. You throw her into the ocean, she could become a fish.
Yeah.
And when I got incarcerated, that part, that trait I grabbed from my mother, and it helped me to be, and I don't want to say successful in the penitentiary, but it helped me to conquer and to achieve my goal of coming home a free, safe man.
That's right. No, I respect that.
Still with my man and dignity and pride intact.
That's right. I hear you. It's real clear to me. Shout out to Mom, and we love you, Mom, and we know that a strong Black woman can make a difference for any strong Black man. And I'm very familiar with the pain and the sadness and the sense of loss that a mom feels when her son is incarcerated for that long, and the impact it has on them physically and emotionally. But I respect what you said, that you take full ownership. You don't blame any of your experience with the criminal justice system on your parents. You take it bullseye. I made the decision. I wanted to stay. I got out there. It wasn't my mom. It wasn't my dad. It was me.
Yeah.
And so, that's respectful, because, that's not always the scenario you hear from some of the brothers.
You can't point fingers. You can't point fingers, because at the end of the day, now there's some situations where you're forced to react a certain way, or you have to survive. But in my situation, I chose to do what I did. I had got up to a certain degree where my family was good. They had moved to Fredericksburg. I still want to stay in Maryland, do what I do, but it's you can't point fingers, because in certain situations, because there's no growth. You're not going to grow with that, because you're still in your past. Well, the reason why I did this, because my mom ain't love me enough. Well, you're 31. I know not having lack of love. I know what that feels like. It sucks. But if you hold on to it, it's going to always suck. So once I came to, so I'm like, look, all right, DeAndre, you did this. You the one that, had the gun, the robbery, blase. You did it. Your mama ain't make you do it. Your friends ain't make you do it.
That's right.
Because people used to say, You know, you trying to show off for them. Okay, but they still ain't make me do it.
That's
I
right.
did it.
That's
I also
right.
did the time. I also have the felony. It's also
That's
on my record. So I'm aware. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, I think I'm a slight success story, because it's when I tell you it's designed to fail, you come home.
No, you're not. Let me be real clear with the audience. You're not a slight success story. You're an extraordinary success story. What they say is easy to get in trouble, but sure hard to get out. And I know all the barriers. I know all the tricks. I know how the rules are designed to actually keep you connected to criminal justice. You're real clear. You have divorced yourself, and you're working out the final divorce decree with criminal justice. Listen, I've been doing this 30 years, and I know the difference between a dude who ain't done yet and a brother who is. I know the difference. And so I can tell from your terminology, your posture, your attitude, your belief system, how you're taking ownership over. It's real clear to me. Okay, I might see it a little more readily than others, but I think your behavior and your ongoing success will convince anyone who knows your story that this dude ain't playing. He's moving forward in spite of. He's moving forward in spite of. And you're going to convince some other brothers, I think, behind you that it's possible, in spite of all the pits and dangerous turns that are there waiting for you when you come home. Listen, this has been good, man. I tell you, I'm so glad you were able to just do 7 years.
Yeah,
I know in my work and in my personal life, because I'm from the hood too. I'm grateful I could wear a suit and tie now, but I know I'm both sides in terms of family and in my work. Doing a 20-year hit and a 30-year hit and a 40-year hit. It's hard. It's harder and harder to come back from that when you wait so long. Listen, I just picked up my favorite cousin up from doing a 30-year hit. And like you said, my auntie, man, it has such a tremendous impact on her health, doing 30 years with her son, her only son. So we go to pick him up. We went to pick him up. Auntie, let's go. I'm with you. Went to pick him up. And we went to get something to eat. And he wanted to drive. Okay, cool. So I gave him the keys to Auntie's van and gets in the car. He can't start the motherfucker. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, family. He couldn't start it because he's looking for the key to turn the ignition on. He didn't know. Just push the button to turn the engine on, and I felt real awkward when I told him, "Hey, Slim, just push the button." So he did. We drove. We went to another spot. He gave Auntie the key. He got back in the car without the key. Tried to push the button. The car wouldn't start.
Right.
Now he upset. What? Man, you have to have the key on you, cuz you got to have it on you. So how impactful, that time away has had on just basic things, because life changes. The terrain changes a lot in 7 years, right? You said you had a similar experience with that?
Man, I got yes. When I got my car, this is my first car I got when I came home, because I just recently got another car. Right, I just recently got my second vehicle, and when I got it,
you said your second
yes, sir,
vehicle. All right, I see you ain't playing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so when I got into the car, the dealer, the salesman gets into the car. Okay. He gets in, starts it up. So we go on a ride. So I'm okay, I like this. It's nice. I just came home doing something. So when I hear Kia, I'm like, I don't want no Kia. I'm like, I don't want no Kia.
Right.
But I see this car. I'm like, oh, this looks like a sport. This looks crazy. What is this? Like, this is Kia Optima. I'm like, nah, that ain't no Kia, man. You tripping. When I left the street, like Optima, like, really Kia? Like, nobody was saying, bro, dude got the new Kia. So I get in, he showed me around. So when we get to the parking lot, to another parking lot, he gets out. I get in the car, I drive, because it's already on. Put it on. So I get out, park it, go to put the car in park. I get out. Same situation, I get back in. I'm a man. I got pride,
That's right.
Instead of me just being like, bro,
you're sitting there trying to figure it out.
And then he was like, hit that button right now. I'm like, oh, I didn't see it. Still let my pride get in the way.
Look at that.
But another thing that is affecting me tremendously is the way the world moves now with social injustice, like with like Black Lives Matter and just the blatant, just like with the blatant of the racism. Like, you know, when I left, you know, racism always exists. You know, it's always been like that, but it was behind closed doors, hidden meetings and subliminal messages. But now when I come home and now it's it's front street, you know, people wearing it with pride, and I'm like, oh, you know, just like when I was talking to my little brother last night about Black Lives Matter, because me and him kind of got into like a little argument. I told him, like, bro, Black Lives Matter is, I don't want to say a label, but it's the face of Black social injustice. Now,
that's right.
I said, bro, I was like, bro, we been getting smoked and getting killed and locked up and with the key. We been that. So when I tell him, because, you know, I'm big on Black Lives Matter, but you know, he's more vocal with it. You know, I am too, to a certain degree, but like I told bro, I said, bro, I don't want no unnecessary attention right now. Right, bro, I don't want it. Like I'm still trying to get me together. I don't want nobody. I support it. I agree with it. I'm with it. I'm rolling with it. But right now, I can't. You know, I got to get myself together. How can I represent something or support something when I'm unstable right now? You know, but I love the movement. But like I told him, I was like, bro, you know, because first murder was Trayvon Martin. I was already incarcerated. But then I told him, I was like, bro, I can give you 4 from my area.
That's right.
Never was talked about. Never heard. Or because he was a drug dealer, it's okay for him to get shot unarmed because he got a record for having guns and selling drugs. But he get put over for a traffic stop, you know, and he gets shot 4 times. But we don't say no. We just put him on a shirt and we keep it moving. But see now, and it sucks because now with the platform, now you get more views or you get more of an audience. But see, back then we had to put in the work. We had to go to the school with the shirts and like, you heard what happened to keep on. You know what I'm saying? We had to go shouting them out, and we on MySpace and Black Planet. You know, back when I was in school, Facebook, what was that?
That's right.
And social media is crazy. You better not be caught doing nothing now.
No.
Or you will be a meme. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, everywhere I go, somebody going to TikTok
and you're right. Just stay off social media, especially if you're on paper, because trust me, some of the supervision activity is they go on your social media site to see what you're doing, and you'd be surprised how many brothers are just reckless and free. So I do appreciate when you said that you still have a sense of vulnerability as a part of your transition experience, that you don't feel solid enough where you can take much risk. Right. I'm not gonna take no risk. I don't want too much exposure. Matter of fact, I don't want to be noticed right now. I just want to get my pegs in the ground, and then I'll stick my head out and advocate and work with other partners on shared concerns. Brother Tinsley, this has been great, man. I definitely respect your wherewithal, your conviction in terms of empowering yourself to move forward and to follow your divine direction that's already been, was already in place for you. Is there any words of encouragement that you can share with any other men and women who are returning home during the pandemic? Is there one statement of hope you can give them?
Oh yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but the same skills and survival skills that you use to come home to be free again, just use some same skills. People gonna shut the doors, but just go knock on another one. Yeah, and then one thing I will tell: do not get comfortable. Once you get that step in the door, like I started out as landscaping, but then it got to 104 degrees one day. That ain't me.
That's right.
I started working at the hospital. Then I was like, this corona jumping off. That ain't me. Then I got on the UPS, and then I get my first check. I'm like, that's me. Wow. This don't stop. It don't just stop at one car. Now, I don't mean go out your means, but the reason why I bought a second car now, because back then I wanted 2 cars just because I wanted 2 cars. But now I have 2 cars because if my Kia breaks down or something, I'm not forced to fix it right then and there. If I don't have the money, then I can use my other card, because people understand. And one thing I want to reiterate,
Please.
Anybody, the men and women coming home from the penitentiary, they have changed the law. Get your license, please. They've changed the law. They no longer can suspend your license for court costs or court fines. I personally, I haven't had a license since 2009.
Yeah.
I went to the DMV my second week home. I went with the book. I was ready to take the test.
That's right.
The lady called my number. She said, "What can I do?" I said, "I'm here to take the driving test to get my license." She did types of stuff, and she said that'll be $32. I said, "Huh?" I said, "Okay." Gave her $32. She gave me a printout. She said, "They go your license." I said, "Oh, huh?" Wow. She said, "Yes, they changed the law." She said that they no longer, if they could show that, if you could see in the system, if they could look in and see in the system that you had a valid license at some point in time, then they would know, they would give your license back. And it's so easy. And with me having a license in the car, it's opened up so many doors.
I'm glad you shared that, and I hope the audience really pays attention to that information. You mentioned earlier that the transition booklet that you get prior to release is antiquated, it's old, it's not even current. And so that the laws are constantly changing, and the services and the service provision is constantly changing, and you have to be alert and informed. Man, Brother Dandre, this has been great, man, and you really shed some light on the experience, and we salute you for that.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We probably will have at some point another discussion around reentry, and we'd love to have you back to share more, maybe as a panelist, to help us really understand with the goal of what are some of the corrective remedies that need to be put in place to help brothers and sisters who really want to come home and stay home. Right. And we're talking about that group, because not everyone wants to, is committed to
some
change.
people institutionalized. And
it happens.
Absolutely.
It happens.
You do the same thing for 20 years, then it happened. But all I gotta say is, my brothers, my sisters, come home and stay home and give yourself a chance. That's all I ask. Because sometimes, some people not come home to support system. So you gotta do what you gotta do. But give yourself a chance. Just give yourself a chance, man. That's all I ask. Just give yourself a chance, man. Because it can happen. I got my own crib. It ain't in my mama's name.
That's right.
It ain't in no girl name. It's my house.
Yeah.
I can kick whoever I want out, and I can let whoever I want in. I pay the bills, my light bill, my cable, my cars, my insurance. I acquired it the right way, and it feels good. Man, I love going shopping. Don't got to look at the thing. Seems going to say decline, because I know I got it now.
That's
right. It's a blessing. It's a better.
I see some advocacy in your future, man. I see you're going to be in a good position, man, when you get all your pegs to the ground, to educate and empower other people as they transition home. Listen, I know you were kind of reluctant to show up too much on social media, but do you have a way that people, if they wanted to talk with you more, could reach you? I
have an Instagram.
What is that? What is that?
It's Carlito, spelled with a KARLITO _WAYYY. Carlito _Y. Wait, excuse me.
Carlito _Y.
Oh, wait, WAYYY. 3 Ys.
Okay, 3 Ys. Okay. I know you're going to get some shout outs as soon as we release this podcast. I know people are going to be very motivated and interested to pull you in to be guests in other podcasts and to just maybe have a conversation. Some brothers may just want to talk to you just to get some insight. Be heard.
I just want to show people that you can come home, and they always show you what you can do and come home and go right back, but they'll never show you can come home and stay home. And I want to be like, I'm doing it.
Right.
You can do it. And now by me knowing the avenues and the ins and outs, I can maybe help that person get on a little bit faster than it took me.
That's right. That's right.
But I just want everybody to be successful, man. That's all.
Yeah. No, it's guaranteed, because you're committed to your own success. So for the audience, I know you've appreciated this time with Brother Dandre Tinsley out of VA. He's educated us and encouraged us and gave us some confidence that a transition home is possible. Don't doubt it. It's possible. Now, if you want more information about who we are and what we do here at Prestige, please visit our website at prestigecommunityresources.org. Thank you so much for joining this episode with us today. It has been a pleasure. Until next time, stay safe, stay well.